Oh, technology. Technology. Here we go. This is attempt number 2. So, a minute ago I was going live, but I was using the Facebook actual program and it wasn't working. So now I'm using my actual program. So here we go. We'll see if this thing actually works. So I'm gonna see if I can go to this. Is that full screen? I don't know if it is or not. Oh, look, there's the thing I was pulling this from. Wonderful. Okay. So, live video is always fun because you never know what you're going to get and what all is going to be going on. So anyway, I apologize, guys, for not being around. I have been extremely busy with children and everything else going on in this world. So I just haven't had a ton of time to make videos. But here I am. I'm going to try and be on here more often. It's just I've got 3 kids running around at home. I have to keep them educated and whatnot and doing my regular work, so it's just difficult. Anyway, so what we're talking about today, wedding regrets. I hate it. Oh, I hate it when I hear that people have regrets about their wedding. It just makes me sad, and I want everyone just to have a wonderful wedding, but unfortunately it isn't always that way. And so I wonder if I can make this bigger. There we go. We're going to talk about some things, and these are not the only regrets that people have. There are a lot of other regrets that people have as well. But basically, I've thrown this question out a few times, and these are the responses I get back most often. So these are the things that I hear overwhelmingly, like this is the biggest things that happen the most often. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. I don't want you to have any regrets about your wedding. I want you to have a wonderful experience. And so that's what we're going to talk about. So let's jump into it. So the first one is not hiring a wedding planner. And I know a lot of you have a wedding planner, coordinator, day of, whatever you want to call it. And some of you do not. And I know it's another expense, and weddings are expensive. But you have to think about what your sanity is worth, and what the overall wedding experience is worth to you. Planning, as you guys know, planning a wedding can be so overwhelming. And if you hire a wedding planner or wedding coordinator, whatever you want to call it, early in the process, they can take care of so many things for you, and you don't have to do hardly anything. So if that's something that's like really stressing you out, and you still have a long time to a wedding, I would suggest you jump on it and get someone to help you with it. Because you don't want to be stressed out about your wedding. You don't want that. And then if you don't have a wedding coordinator, a lot of the times people will put the obligation on someone else, someone in their families, a friend, whatever. And now that person is having to deal with all this stress instead of enjoying your wedding. Just not something I would do to someone. I wouldn't want them to be having to run around on my wedding day instead of enjoying the day. It's just not cool. And in general, guys, things go a lot smoother if you have a coordinator. I mean, even if you do have a friend trying to run it, I've had to deal with non-professional, I don't know how to say that, people that don't do it for a living, and it just doesn't work as well. And in general, things will just be unorganized if you don't have someone there to kind of help you with it. So, not saying everyone has to have a wedding planner or coordinator, but it really does help things out. And again, I didn't come up with these regrets. This is what people told me personally. Another big one is not enjoying the reception. And in my mind, the reception is when most of the fun happens. The getting ready part's pretty fun, and the ceremony is a big thing as well. But the actual reception is when a lot of things will happen and a lot of the fun happens. Okay, so reasons that might happen: it's too short. You just don't have enough time to enjoy it. So you're just in and out and you're gone. Another one is there's no activities for you to do, no dancing, no games, nothing. You're just sitting around being bored. Alcohol. Now, I'm not saying everyone has to have alcohol. If you don't drink, that's perfectly fine. But most people have a lot more fun and loosen up when there is alcohol. Okay. If you try and talk to every single guest, that's going to take up the majority of your time, and it just gets overwhelming. So usually focusing on talking to the most important people and then just enjoying your time is usually a better thing. And here's a crazy one a lot of people forget to do is just eat. You pay all this money for this food and this cake, and you don't even get to eat it. I love food, so I would not forget to eat. Trying to please others. There's a lot of people involved in a wedding, a lot of money being spent. And so people are going to have opinions on things. So if you worry more about what other people think instead of what you want, that's going to cause you a lot of stress, and you're going to end up doing things you didn't really want to do in the first place. So what I would suggest is find the people that are really important to you, listen to them, but then in the end, you still have to make your own decision. And everyone else that you don't really care about, just ignore them. Okay, I already said kind of this before, but not having enough time. So being rushed to get ready, being rushed for photos, being rushed to the reception. So just make sure you plan the things out and you have enough time to do everything you want to do. Okay, the last one. And I know I'm rushing through this, but I got stuff I'm about to have to do. This is probably my biggest regret is not having video. We did photos. They're pretty awesome and everything, but we did not get a video. So I can't remember hardly anything that was said at my wedding. It's like my brother's speech, the vows, what the officiant said, it's all gone. Can't remember a single thing. And photos cannot capture what people say. So another thing is a video is kind of an easy way to share. You can post it online. People can watch a video in 5 to 10 minutes, which is a lot very different than photos where they have to flip through 1,000 photos, and that takes a long time and it's kind of difficult to do. They can just sit back and relax, watch the video, and enjoy the whole day in a relatively short amount of time. Okay, so guys, you're probably going to have some regret. It's hard to have a perfect wedding and everything just be completely perfect. But I think you need to focus on the things you really care about. So first of all, do some research. Watching these videos, asking people about their wedding, going to weddings, seeing all the things that are happening, finding out what people did, because there's a lot of stuff you may not even think about or know is even out there. Do all that research, find out stuff, and then focus on what you really care about, what's really important to you, and put your energy, put your money into that, and, make sure that's perfect. Make sure that thing that you care about is perfect. And then all the other stuff, just say, whatever, I don't even really care. All the other stuff can just kind of be ignored and don't fret over it. I mean, if the guy's socks are the wrong shade of blue, that's something most people probably aren't going to really care about and not something to get extremely upset about. But if photos are like something you really care about, then you want to make sure all of that is taken care of. It's planned. You spend enough money on a good photographer, all that stuff. So it's really something that you're not going to regret. Okay, guys. So, if you have any thoughts, so like if you've heard of, I hear this a lot, and a lot of times it's from just random people. I mean, if you've heard people say, I regret this about my wedding, I would love to hear that in the comments so I can, update this so we can share that information with other people. Because if people don't know about it, if people don't have the information, then they can't make that decision. So let's share what we've heard, what people have said, things we've experienced, so other people don't have that regret, so people don't make those mistakes. Because again, I don't want anyone to have a horrible wedding experience. I want everyone to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful wedding. All right, guys, as always, I am here for you. If you have questions, feel free to contact me directly, post things. I don't care. Hopefully the world goes back to normal sometime soon. I'm really, really itching to get out and do some photos in this beautiful weather and, interact with some people instead of just sitting at home doing nothing. Working on a bunch of editing, but that's not my favorite thing to do. All right, guys. So I hope these regrets are something you can learn from and something you can apply to your own wedding. I hope you guys have a super awesome whatever today is. I can't even remember. I think it's Tuesday. All right. See you guys.